Now, time for Headline News Local Edition.
From the Northern Television Center in DeKalb, I'm Carrie Madison, and this is Headline News Local Edition. Thanks for joining us. Crime Stoppers is seeking information in a homicide investigation involving a rural Lee County resident. An unknown person or persons entered Amy Todd Fleming's residence located on Route 30 west of Wood Lawn sometime between 8:30 p.m. January 10th and 3 a.m. January 11th. Police report a microwave and VCR missing from the residence. If you have any information or remember seeing anything unusual during these hours, please call Crime Stoppers at 895-3272. Crime Stoppers will pay a reward of up to $1,000, and the Shabana Businessmen's Association is posting a $25,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of the person or persons involved in this case. In other news, sexual harassment seminar draws very few students. Kelly Sackett reports.
The Northern Illinois Affirmative Action Office sponsored a teleconference on sexual harassment in the Home Student Center. There were 5 panelists, with the most notable being attorney Anita Faye Hill. DeKalb Detective Beth Hughes says she is disappointed that more students didn't attend the teleconference, and she blames this on a lack of education. Also, Hughes believes sexual harassment is more clear-cut than some may think. She says gestures, verbal contact, and even minimal physical contact can be sexual harassment.
But if it affects someone's work, someone's pursuits of their higher learning, their work, that would be sexual harassment.
The panel participated in many heated discussions involving the cause of sexual harassment. They discussed topics such as the common errors of employees in dealing with these issues, previous sensual relationships, and the current state of law. Dr. Ann Bryant says research shows students in the United States experience sexual harassment every day.
And I think, Julianne, that was kind of the interesting finding, is this is not just happening to female students, it's happening to male students. 81% of the students said that at some time during their school life they had experienced some form of sexual harassment. Those are big numbers.
Anita Hill says many undermine women by saying they are overreacting when sexual harassment is addressed.
And in most cases, claims are not reported, that people don't overreact, that they tend to minimize the behavior and try to find other ways other than complaining to deal with it.
Dr. Bryant?
Reporting for Headline News Local Edition, I'm Kelly Sackett.
Special Assistant to former President Johnson pays a visit to DeKalb to discuss health care issues. Kenny Price has the complete story.
Nationally known healthcare official Joseph A. Califano Jr. came to Northern Illinois University's Carl Sandburg Auditorium to address local DeKalb residents and students. Califano worked as a special assistant to former President Johnson and was Secretary of Health, Education, and Welfare during the Carter administration. Waiting for him to take the stage, his audience was well aware of his credentials.
Mr. Califano, was part of the Carter administration as Health, Education, and Welfare Secretary, and I understood he was going to be speaking about national health care, and it's an important issue for our society today.
Giving a brief history of the healthcare system, he addressed his audience about the pressing issues we face today: healthcare costs, research, and the future of the healthcare system. Although Califano couldn't attend the reception that was held for him, health officials that attended the event thought the lecture was very informative.
So I was very impressed with his, not rhetoric, his soul-searching, and I think he's absolutely right on things like exploring euthanasia and many of these other things that our country must come to deal with.
Califano stated that we have the means and the research to provide quality health care, but affordability stands in our way.
I think it's extremely expensive for us to provide some of the high-tech cures or maybe interventions that we have, when maybe we should be, as he kind of intimated, shift some of those dollars to more of therapeutic approaches for issues and diseases that may have actually some curable outcomes.
The lecture of the official was very much appreciated by his audience. For Headline News Local Edition, I'm Kenny Price.
In sports, the Northern Illinois University Husky baseball team dropped both ends of a doubleheader to the Cougars of Chicago State this afternoon at McKenzie Field. The Huskies got off on the right foot with the early lead by scoring 1 in the bottom of the first. The teams volleyed back and forth for the next few innings before Chicago State would make the move to take the lead in the top of the 5th. The Cougars scored 2 runs in the frame and would only have to check the rearview mirror to see where the Huskies were. The Cougars would add 1 in the next inning and increase their lead to a 2-run advantage. The Huskies would make a valiant effort to win the game when they started a rally in the bottom of the 6th to cut the lead down to 1. The bottom of the 7th brought another opportunity for the Huskies to win the ballgame, but the tough defense of the Cougars held off the final surge of the Husky attack and snared a 3-2 victory. The final totals for the game were the Cougars 3 runs on 6 hits with no errors, and the Huskies had 2 runs on 6 hits with 2 errors. The second game was much of the same, with the Cougars getting the early lead with a 3-run homer in the first, then added 1 in the third. The Huskies lost by a final of 4-2. And that's this hour's Headline News Local Edition. From the Northern Television Center in DeKalb, I'm Carrie Madison. Headline News continues following your local forecast.
This is Headline News, a CNN network.